Guys, welcome. It's great to have you back. We are doing a brand new video with my boy TJ, actually, on a Monday morning. It's great to have you all here. Guys, we're about 30 subscriptions right now from 10,000 subs on YouTube. Guys, I really would love your help to help get over that line. It's a huge milestone I never thought I'd meet. It would be fantastic for your support and your help to see if we can get up over the line. So please, we would really appreciate it. Of course, hit your comments up as well, and a couple of thumbs up won't hurt either if you don't mind. But TJ, welcome, mate. It's great to have you join us today. How are you, buddy? What's happening? What's going on?
Hi, YouTube. How you doing? Love you guys. Just here to talk about another video.
No, I'm good. Hey, hi. How you doing?
Oh, I don't know what happened, but I think you must have sat on the gym bench a little bit to the side there and crossed something.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
anyway,
the top of the chest hit the bottom of the throat, and stuff happens.
Not to me, but anyway, that's a whole different story.
Hey,
but mate, let's get straight into it. We've got a lot to cover today, and this video is a little bit of an informative one. And so I brought someone smarter on to help us with this one. So TJ's hanging with us.
Ooh,
You,
don't look at me.
So we're up and about, and of course, look, we do need to cover some Datacrons, and I know there's a lot of people that are a little bit confused when it comes to Datacrons out there at the moment. We're all the same.
Yeah, a lot. This is to say that's ground floor, sir. Everybody, we're all. This is all theory crafting. There is no usage yet. Nobody's used one, so nobody knows.
Exactly right. We don't know which ones are going to be more powerful. We don't know which ones are going to be most effective. But if we're looking at numbers, stats, and kits, we've got a ballpark idea on what's going to be the best type of combinations for a few different teams. From a theory crafting perspective, with what we know so far, with what we have available to us with the information we have at this point, at the end of June, a week after they've been released. Just to be clear. So we just thought we'd cover that in case A, there's any changes, or B, something else pops up that we're not aware of yet, because they haven't actually been used in anger. So we thought we'd cover that straight away. But the Datacrons, how have you, just to give me an idea, TJ, how have you been finding them? I've got my screen up here with my game screen at the moment with the Datacrons. I've been hitting Conquest really hard early on. So for those that aren't aware and they're watching this video and GAC is coming up soon, Datacrons will be live in the GAC about to drop in 24 hours sign up from watching this video. So they're actually going to be active in-game. They're not going to be active in a month or a couple of weeks. They're actually going to be active straight away. So this is where we're at as far as what I've been able to do, and I've been hammering Conquest hard. I've completed all the 5 sectors, going back and doing the feats, and whilst doing the feats, I'm using the Datacron nodes to complete those feats along the way to get the extra mats and all the extra currency and the bits and pieces to continue to farm these guys. So TJ, how have you found it overall? How many do you think you have in your roster at the moment, and how many have you been rocking around with?
So I'm about, I think 14 or something like that. That's not active. That's just I'm looking at total. Like you're clearly a whale. So that your numbers when you're going off screen, that's ridiculous. But if you notice, even like with yours, it's the same boat that how many are actually like have at least a 1-star under or level 1 or something like that. And it's not many, right? Because I think we're all same boat there. Yeah. Whale, non-whale, everybody's pretty much at the same perspective of you can only get so many. And somebody at level 3s, level 6s, level 9. Well, level 9 is definitely a whale, but beyond that right now, I got a couple.
Yeah, spot on. So the acumen has really been the part that's holding everyone back, as far as that's been the pinch point, especially the Mark 1 acumen. So that's the little ones that you use to unlock the Datacrons themselves. It's these little ones down the bottom here. So they're certainly the pinch point for the majority of people. That's going to hold you up in a couple of ways. That's going to stop you from really trying to max it early, a lot of the Datacrons. Also, to unlock a massive amount of them. Every one of them you unlock, you physically don't get enough of them, even in the stores to this point in time, a week out, to really get in and farm and open all these bad boys up yet. So that's kind of helped restrict not the whaling on these, but certainly restrict the mass amount that we're going to see early in GAC, TJ.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's just like but it's also people are playing with the idea of it, right? So there's some people who are sticking very small, right? So they're going to say they're going to go very lean on their Datacron, and they're going to unlock 1 all the way up. So I'll go free to play. They may get enough to a 6 or maybe a 1 to a level 9, and then that's everything's invested into 1, and they're going all the way up to try to build 1 out to make it a super Datacron. Versus somebody who may be going more wide and they want a whole bunch of level 3s because they want that first stat, or they want to do maybe like 2 6s to get a light side and a dark side, something along those lines. So I know everybody has an idea of what they're trying to do. A lot of people are waiting, and I don't think there's a wrong answer right now because we don't know.
It's too early. It's too early to know, which way it's going to roll.
The right response, right?
Correct. Yeah, spot on. So TJ and I went back into the kits, and I've obviously unlocked one all the way. It was considerably, heavy on resources. Let's be clear about that off the rip. So I've gone back, as I said, and done a lot of nodes. So this isn't the standard of what everyone's going to get. I've gone super, super hard early, so I have got quite a few unlocked. We thought, you know what? We know that the main ones, of course, we know that they're based around, especially this set at the moment, as far as the Tritis Inquisitorius Datacrons. We know that they're focusing around Resistance, Galactic Republic, and also the Inquisitors as the main 3 factions at the moment. Of course, we've picked out the Galactic Legends that are probably going to be the most appealing with those 3 factions. We've picked out the legends to roll with it, and thought we'd give it an idea on what we think are the recommended sort of stat boosts, and obviously the abilities as well that would be most suitable to try and streamline your farming so you try and get the best result. Now, this is all going off kits and theory crafting, so there might be one of the other kits that we don't recommend today that could be better. Just want to say that up front. We still don't know 100%, but we're going off what we know at this point in time in the lead up to GAC, right, TJ? Straight up?
Yep, it's all fair.
All right.
Yeah,
so
that's all fair.
So that's where we're at, straight up. So let's get straight into it. So let's start with Rey. Now, Rey is obviously one that I have unlocked and maxed. I've got one dolled in for Rey at the moment in game. I'll be using this one obviously in GAC. Long story short is I got a really good health boost on the first level. For those that don't know where to find if it's a good one or not, basically if you go to the range counter on the right hand side, over on the side here, you can see how the scale works as far as the quality of the actual stats that it will actually randomly drop for you. So the whole idea, of course, TJ, is to try and get the maximum stats to the right hand side of the scale as much as possible with all of your stats, right? Straight up.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, it's min-maxing. It's the same thing for any game you're going to play. You're going to want the best you can do based on what it is.
Yeah. So consider that, guys, when you're activating and farming up your Datacrons. Make sure that you try and get the maximum scale, or only really focus on those with the maximum scale abilities that you're going to get. That's what I would recommend straight off the rip. So I had a good health boost, 4.7 out of 5% on this one. Tenacity, it's on the highest scale, almost 23 out of 25. So that's why we kept that one. But then I unlocked it to level 3, and level 3 popped up in light side as an option. Now, for those that aren't aware or haven't actually hit Datacrons yet, you can re-roll these as well for different stats. But of course, you can only roll it, in this case, because it's dropped light side, you can only get light side abilities. If you don't know where to find them, pretty simple. If you go to the Inquisitorius name up the top, there's a little information button. All the actual bonuses for alignment, faction, and characters, they're all up here for the different levels. So if you're not sure, you can actually find out which ones you want. So the idea is that here's a list of all the light side ones that if we re-rolled it, these are the stats that we could choose from. Not all of them, because you only get 2 selections, or you get to keep the one that you currently have. So you won't actually get a choice out of all of them. It will still be a random drop. So we got light side, so we thought, okay, so we're going to try and make this a Galactic Republic, and we're going to try and make this a Resistance. It's going to be one of those two, depending on what the level 6 bonus is for the faction, right, TJ? That's where you look.
It's fair, but I would also add, don't forget, so anybody who's wanted to go light or dark, and wherever you wanted to go at, the one thing you need to know is let's say 3, 6, and 9 are what you have to stack up, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to re-roll 3, let's say you have light side and maybe you want to try to get dark side. Once you actually hit 6, you can't re-roll 3.
Correct.
So at each doorway, and this is all learned the hard way, guys. This wasn't learned by me going out and getting something from CG. This is me actually having to spend my own money and time to try to figure that out on re-rolls, because I have tried to re-roll as well. So if something you want to do with the level 3, you can go 4 and 5. and still go back and reroll 3. Once you hit 6, you can't go back that far.
Until you max it all out. Once you max it all out, you can re-roll all of them. So you can see here re-roll available only because I've taken it to level 9. Can you re-roll any of the stats down the track once you've maxed it out? So it is possible.
You can. It shows you where you can. But what you can't do, once you hit 9, and one thing you'll need to learn about that is, we'll say as we're going down the road, once you're at 9, you can't re-roll the level 3 to go to dark side.
No.
It can only stay on the light.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing. Once you've locked that faction in, the faction is locked in.
That's it.
So you need to know that when you're doing 9, that you've gone all the way down. So just be aware of that if you're wanting to play with things. Because like right now for dark side, for example, you're not going to go to level 9 for a Lord Vader or an SLK because you're not getting into the bonuses, and that is a lot. And I mean a lot of material to get something to level 9.
We'll talk about that when we cover Lord Vader in a minute. We'll cross back to that one. So we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to cover all the 3 main GLs that work with these Datacrons to give you an idea. So we then, of course, got critical damage, something that works okay with this. On the lower scale, 12% out of between 10 and 20. Still good, but not really what we want out of it. The tenacity's there as well. It is 39% out of 40, so we had a really good roll on this one, but we're thinking maybe of re-rolling this down the track because it's not that helpful. Would that be the way to put it, TJ, in this case?
It's the same thing. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. The nice thing is on the right side, you can see where it's at, and then depending on where you're at, it shows you where you're higher or lower. Certain things just aren't going to be necessary versus others based on the faction we're trying to mess with.
Yeah.
Right. So like your Rey one, do I really need to worry about a potency? So that it's just here or there depending on where you're at per Datacron and then per faction. So that's kind of where the theory of crafting builds in.
That's right. H&O, as you can see in the message below, so the symbols always lock, correct, but the text ability can re-roll, correct, or you can change all the stats once you max it out to level 9. You can re-roll all of them, but it'll only stay light side. You can't change the dark side. It'll tell you along the way if you're not sure. Check on the right-hand side. It tells you can no longer target dark side with this Datacron. So that obviously rules out a lot of bonuses straight away because you can only go for light side. It will tell you as you go. So keep an eye on the details on the right-hand side of all the Datacrons. Keep track of it where you're at. So then, of course, I hit level 6 and I hit the resistance. So that logged in what type of Datacron I'm going to be using this for. Can re-roll it to Galactic Republic, but I thought, no, let's go down on Rey and see where we can get to. So that's what we did. I got the Retaliate ability. There is, of course, another one as well that you recommend, TJ, that is a good option, but not disappointed with getting Retaliate on Rey.
In general, I think the Retaliate in general is a pretty overall safe bet. That's dark side, light side, depending on where it's at, right? Because I know we didn't talk and we'll go better, but like you get, well, let's say SLK, and you have a dark side with Retaliate on it. But the only thing you have to look at though, it's Retaliate, but it's based on for dark side Inquisitorius. Correct. So it's just to give you an example where you need to look at, and I know we're going to go into it, but it's just the one thing you want to pay attention to, light versus dark.
Yeah. There's really no point getting Retaliate on a dark side because you can only put it on Inquisitors. It's only going to work on them. It's not going to work on any of the other dark side ones. In
the actual language. It actually says it in the word. So you'll see that.
No worries. So we got 6, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to double down on Rey. If I've got resistance and I've got light side bonuses that I like, I'm going to go for Rey. So we then roll potency. I then roll protection. Not disappointed with the protection, and then the Rey mechanic we got as well. Now, it didn't start off with Rey. It actually started off as Resistance Trooper. That was the first roll that I got when I hit level 9. I then re-rolled it once and then picked up the Rey one, just to be clear. So I didn't get this straight out of the rip. I did have to re-roll once to get the Rey ability that I was after. So I just want to be clear on that straight up. So I got the max health, max protection per relic, amplifier level, and damage received is decreased by 15%. Now, again, I think was there another one that you recommend as well for Rey that we can quickly look up here on the list? So all the lists are here with all the abilities that are available. We're also looking at getting the very first one up here as well. Ed of the Jedi deals 75% more damage for each other ally. We're also looking at that one as an option too. Highly recommended.
I think 1 or 3. I really think 1 or 3. And I think it's the team build and it's the concept you're going to look for, and that's TW, or GAC. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Because speeding up your ult charge. I know the boys at the Gambit podcast talked about it, and I've seen some other of the other streamers talk about it. That's a really good one. And then, of course, the damage. Like if you're doing that on offense or defense, another one for every living ally, 75% more damage. And you have, I don't care, an R2 on your team already, or you have Master's Training, or you have the armor. That is going to be gross, man. That is going to make her very, very strong.
Correct. So from there, that's what we recommend for Rey at the moment, just to give you guys an idea. So that's the sort of things that we've been dropping. You can't generally go wrong with those. But of course, we do have 2 other characters that we also want to cover with GLs for the Datacrons if you're looking for a different one and you're not getting the Resistance run. So we don't actually have them unlocked, of course, because we're not at that point yet. But what we did do was actually make up some graphics for the other 2 characters. So let's cover Lord Vader. So let's cover Lord Vader. That if you do unlock him and you certainly want to go down the dark side path this early on, we've obviously gone through all of the options for Lord Vader. So when you roll that to level 3, we recommend whenever dark side allies daze or stun an enemy, they recover 10% health and protection, or whenever dark side allies inflict at least 4 debuffs in a turn, they have a 10% chance to reduce their cooldowns by 1 for each debuff they inflicted that turn. It's a limit of once per turn. So either of those 2, TJ, on a Lord Vader sort of team would be pretty bloody handy.
Oh, for sure. And there'll be actually, Vader is a great tie-in because you can add the Inquisitors to this. And there are level 6s and other ones that actually apply to it. So Lord Vader is a great call-out for this one. Because there are things in there that say Inquisitors and then it says all other allies. So Lord Vader would be the all other ally in this situation. So it's great for that. And he's going to feed off the stats. And there's some really good ones that tie into his kit that build up off of just what he has to offer.
Spot on. Absolutely. So with Lord Vader, if you're looking at building a Datacron for Lord Vader, stop at level 6. That's what we recommend. Because level 9, the bonuses are only for Inquisitorius in this style of Datacron. That's not going to help you any. So we recommend stopping at level 6 in this case. Get the secondary stats after that if you really, really want them, but definitely don't go into the level 9. Would not recommend that because it's not going to be that useful, right?
No, but I will say, if you go and read it, and him and Heinz and I were talking about it, you have the potential to do like a 70% protection basically, because 7 and 8 or level 7 and level 8 each have an option to basically do 20% protection per roll.
Yes.
So if you're really trying to critique and get down, because for right now, I know that the second full set don't have anything based on dark side. You can make a pretty nasty Lord Vader with a Datacron that has basically protection everywhere.
Spot on. Absolutely. So level 6, we recommend going for the Retaliate again. That's going to be, a really, really popular one everywhere, honestly. So Retaliate's pretty handy. For those that don't know what Retaliate is, if you're doing Conquest at the moment, you go up against a Padme team, and every time you attack him, you're getting damage back. That's basically what it is. So that's the bit that hurts. Having that on any opponent's going to be gross. It really is. Alternatively, if you don't get the Retaliate one, don't stress. You can get, of course, the Inquisitorius one. So if you're, for instance, building a Lord Vader team and you have Ninth Sister as an option, having this stat bonus will be pretty handy as well, TJ. Whenever Inquisitorius allies start their turn with fewer than 2 buffs, all other allies gain 15% turn meter, right?
Yeah. And that's the perfect call up for it, right? Because if you don't have the buffs on it, everybody's going to get in the turn meter, not just your Inquisitors. And that's the idea about it.
So if you get this level 6 bonus, that's fine, but make sure you put Ninth Sister in the lineup. That's what we're trying to say. That'll make it nice and nasty as well. We, of course, did one for Galactic Republic. That's the 3rd faction as well that's affected. Oh, before we go any further, of course, with the other stats, Protection and Health Steal are the 2 most popular ones we recommend for the other bonus stats along the way before you get to the level markers. So is there any other stats as well that you recommend if we don't get Protection or Health Steal for Dark Side?
So for Dark Side, so the one that's not brought in here, SLK, and I know, again, I'm going to reference the Gambit because they talked about it, Hellsteel for like SLK. Where are you going to go wrong with crit damage? A crit damage based on that is going to be great. It just depends on the character and the team build you're looking for. You can't go wrong with health. You can't go wrong with protection. You can't go wrong with crit damage. So just those 3 bases are going to be nice. If you're not trying to be super picky, because who can really be super picky at this point on your Datacrons?
Yeah.
If you're getting those, I think you're a good start.
Yeah. And it's something to work on and re-roll down the track when you get more resources. That's the thing.
Oh, for sure.
So don't stress straight away if you don't get these. It's just that these are some of the things you should be aiming for if you have the option of A, re-rolling, or B, unlocking those abilities in a certain Datacron. That's what we recommend to run with. There is, of course, Galactic Republic as well. That's another one that we also worked over. So we have Kenobi up and running for that particular one. So we have, of course, Kenobi. He's going to be gross with anything added to him, TJ. He's just full on anyway.
No, he's a weak GL who needed more help. Stop it. Way underutilized GL. So he needed all the help he could get. For sure.
Oh, I love it, mate. I love it. The sarcasm is beautiful right now, TJ. Sensational stuff. So we recommend for Kenobi, if you get to level 3, light side, of course, you're going to unlock a light side in this case. That's what you're going to use it on. Don't use a dark side one because it's not going to help you any. So you've got to make sure it's a light one. And you want to aim for whenever light side allies start their turn with at least 2 buffs that can be dispelled, they gain 5% offense, stacking up until the end of the encounter. Or if you don't get that one, don't stress. Get whenever light side allies gain a buff, they recover 2% health and protection. So either one of those is going to be pretty handy if you're thinking about trying to aim for a Kenobi team, for a Datacron for Kenobi. When it gets to level 6, surprise, retaliates on the list. That's there. Not a surprise for obvious reasons. It's just nasty, and JMK is going to be even nastier when you're getting damage thrown back at you. The other options, of course, are whenever Galactic Republic allies use a special ability during their turn, they stun target enemy for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. Or whenever Galactic Republic allies inflict a debuff on an enemy during their turn, they deal bonus damage equal to 10% of the enemy's max health. So, TJ, do you want to talk people through these? We know what the retaliate one does. Probably don't need to explain that too much. The other 2 underneath it, did you want to sort of clarify why those ones would be okay to use in this style of team?
Yeah, and the whole point being is it's based around the team concept, right? Who are on the team and then who's doing what, right? So if you're doing anything to stop the enemy team with a Kenobi because there's so many specials being thrown around and they're stunning everybody, that's just allowing them to go faster and then to go more. So the one thing you don't ever want to do is allow that team to continue to work over yours, depending on the counter you're going to use. So that's the whole concept, right? And they're gaining so many buffs because it's light side. Light side is super buff heavy. So if you're stopping the enemy and you're gaining the buffs, and we'll talk about level 9, but all of those concepts work together very well with JMK, and then tie that in with level 3, it's huge.
Yeah, spot on, straight up. So level 6, any of those abilities would be great if you're putting JMK. But of course, you want to get to level 9 and aim for Jedi Master Kenobi, which you might need to re-roll to get this. Let's be clear, it's not a sure thing if you get to this point. Unlock Galactic Republic bonuses at level 6. You're having this trouble.
I'm trying furiously on level 9 for JMK, man.
Yeah. So with this is, there's no doubt, it's undisputed. If you're going for JMK level 9, this is the ability you want. Straight up, while Jedi Master Kenobi has the high ground, all allies ignore protection.
Yeah.
They are going to rip teams apart.
So gross.
They are going to rip teams apart with that particular bonus attached to it, isn't it? Straight up.
And then obviously honorable mention is, again, anything that's going to build your ult faster. He already builds it so fast as it is with Cat, and everything you see is going to be JMK Cat. So tying that in to make his ult faster is a definite good one as well. So the Rey and the JMK are very similar. Either one, but ignoring protection, that is so gross.
Yeah, it is. So that's a definite one that you want. As far as other stats along the way, the stats along there, you want crit damage, health or protection are fine. Either of those would be great, and of course health steal as well. They're going to be super handy in this lineup as well, TJ, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. It's yeah. So for these first set of Datacrons, it's the way you want to look at it is light versus dark. So if we're looking on the light side, it's more of the kit base, right? So giving us the level 3 and 6 and 9, and then staying within that realm is going to make these factions so much better because you can get multiple Galactic Republic teams, right? Let's put the Padme team out there. Let's put Bad Batch, Gas 501st. If you want to do a resistance team, there's a really cool OG Finn one that you can do. So building it's more on the kit. Right now on the dark side, Inquisitor, which is blah. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is at the moment. You're right.
It's stat based, right? So if we're looking at the dark side, because we don't see anything for the zone 2, everything's about the stats. And then building on those characters. Potency, the great one to call out is Iden, right?
Yeah,
Iden getting that potency.
Yeah.
But we're looking at these stats. So you like, how far do I really need to go to build the dark side ones up? Yeah, but I mean, light side of what Dash got called out. So doing the 4 debuffs there. So it just depends, but just looking at the overall, look at where you want to go with. And that's where I say you don't have to re-roll and try to min-max right now.
No.
Just try to get enough of them. But yeah, because we're just the same boat.
Yeah. Everyone's in the same boat. No one quite knows what the best stats are yet. Give it time. There's a lot of smart geniuses out there that will come up with it and let you know exactly what you should and shouldn't be working on and what type of roles are the most effective for whatever teams. Only a matter of time before that comes, guys. We're at week 1 right now, but we thought we might clarify some of the more higher-end Galactic Legend Datacrons that people might be farming so that if you're going along and unlocking them to certain stats, you now know, okay, now I can focus on that type of character with what I've already unlocked. So you're not wasting resources. And really, that's all it's about with these Datacrons, isn't it? You cannot waste resources and farm incorrectly. You will pay a huge price if you go down the wrong track. Correct, TJ? That's how I feel anyway.
It's that, and you can let the others, like myself, make the mistakes and then try to learn from the videos and everything you're going on. So like I said, there's not a wrong answer to wait and see what everybody's doing. I mean, we're going to go through the first week. So what the most you're maybe going to see is 2. I'll go high level, 2, maybe 3 full built out ones, right?
Yep.
Or 3 or 4 level 6s. So it's not like you're going to see all of a sudden there's 11 teams or 15 teams of Datacrons out there.
Just not going to see
We're
it.
good.
Yeah.
You've got time.
Yeah. That's right. Absolutely. So don't panic. Don't stress. Also, a good tip as well, check the leaderboard as well and the characters, the teams and the opponents around you, just to give you an idea on where their Datacrons are at so that you know kind of what to allow for and what to expect. It's really hard to research Datacrons at the moment. Of course, they're not in Swigo.gg. They're not in Hot Utils. They're all working on those at the moment. They've sort of been caught on the hop. So there's not a lot of huge resource options available to us yet. Only a matter of time, of course, because that's how these things go. So check in game, or if you're not sure, check the leaderboard in GEC now. You can do it anytime. Have a look and see the people around you and check what their Datacrons are at. You can click on their inventory button and see what the Datacrons are at. So highly, highly recommend that. Any other tips for the Datacrons as far as farming them or anything, TJ, before we wind this one up, mate? Anything to add, or we pretty well covered it all?
I think farming is everybody's doing what they can, right? I think the call out trying to do your feats in Conquest is huge.
Yes.
Because you can go to level 1, level 2, or level 3. And if you have to do the Old Republic one, the Darth Revan one, you're like 60%, go to level 1.
Yeah.
Or go to round 1 and do it there just to be able to get something so you're not wasting the attempts. I think that's a very good thing that CG did.
Yes.
Because you have to do so many feats over and over again, and you're not wasting your attempts.
Do them on the nodes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've been talking through it, and a lot of other people have mentioned that the Sector 4 node at the end is probably the most effective as far as getting the materials you need at the lower to mid range. So highly, highly recommend aiming for Sector 4 if possible, and work on that node just to get, the lower Inquisitor stat boosts up and running as much as possible. But the drop rates are terrible. I'm going to tell you straight up, I've done a heck of a lot of them, and they are not much fun. Quite often, you're just going to get data caches. You're not actually going to get abilities every time. They don't always drop. So just be aware that's the case. Also, there is a visual bug with Datacrons as well in rewards in Conquest. You can actually earn a new Datacron. It doesn't actually show you in the rewards. So keep an eye on your Datacron list because you might even have more there to unlock that you don't even know you've got. Until they fix that, it's just a visual bug. So I'm sure it won't be too far from being fixed. TJ, thank you so much for joining us, mate. It's great to have you on, brother. We're on every Monday morning at 9:30 Eastern during the summertime. So looking forward to ripping up Monday GAC next week, mate. Can't wait to get after it and have some fun. We're going to go do some planning off stream now. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Love you, man. Thank you so much, guys. Hit that sub button. We're that damn close. Any questions, put in the comments, or the actual graphics that we just made up. They're actually going to be available in the Heinzie Resources channel in our server. I'm going to go put them in there right now. So if you want to share them with your friends or your guildmates, go in there and grab them from there. Help yourself. Just jump in the server. The link is in the description below. We'll see you on the next video, guys. Love you all. We'll see you real soon. Bye.